Hello everybody and welcome back to Saxlingham. So we have got a weird glitch going on with these trees that we're cutting. Let's just see whether we'll take the ones nearest the track. These trees, we can't use a forest harvester for them, which is rather annoying because it says they need to be straight, but I'm sure pine trees we can do in this game. But anyways, it's not letting us, so that's the main thing. I did try have a bit of a demo where just I uploaded another version of Saxlingham to see what was going on, and yeah, you just can't cut them whatsoever. So we are going to have to use a chainsaw, which is okay because we've got time to do it, and especially now we really need to sleep and move on. But we're at 81% of a contract, so if we move, we'll lose the contract. We also have a slight. We have a slight bit of a glitch going on where if we go to, you'll see that we can't get rid of some of these branches. But what I have found is, I got quite worried, if I'm honest, for a short while. I think it's these ones here that can't get rid of these at all. Is if we go and cut here, so we can cut here, we can get two nice lengths out of this before we see the glitch. So let's get this bit done, and now let's go cut this bit. Obviously we're doing the bits closest to the track because that's easiest for us to load up with on that bit. If we now go and cut here, do you see how these bits fall off? So I think they are deleted. You know, we've still got the odd piece on here, but I think they are gone. But they're just in the ground. It's only until, and I hope you don't mind me just doing this very quickly, just to show you. You go like that. They're floating now, which is rather interesting. But right, we're going to, just to start this episode off, we're going to have to go get as many of these trees gathered up as we can, because we need to keep going, keep getting ready for when we get our chipper. These are some big old bits of timber coming out here. So let's just drop that one there. And then we'll take this back into our bit of forestry and then leave it there for now. I think if we just do, it's like anything, if we just do one or two loads every episode, it'd be amazing actually how much we bring out. We do have a load up there because I did do a bit of demoing up there to see what was going on. We've also, our contract is finished, so we can collect on that contract and look to move on. So let's go to contracts. This was 41,000, so we'll collect that. Obviously that's all work. That was working on field 41, which is what that's the next field I want to buy, and I'm hoping after doing a bit of drilling we will be able to do it. And we're going to keep using the likes of follow me because that seemed to work amazing for us. And interestingly, I'm on to you about a glitch that we're having. We have had one of the trees that we cut down, we had it glitched, but then on the second tree we cut down there was no glitch at all, which, yeah, it just adds to everything that's sort of baffling with, making it all a bit weird. I know we've just had the new patch out, but I would have thought that should have solved a lot of issues. It certainly solved for me. I've mentioned it in Alma, where whenever I used to close a game down, it would just close the whole of Farm Sim down, so you then had to restart to do anything else. But we'll just see with this one. Let's see whether it is going to get rid of all the branches for us or not. Right, well that's got rid of all the branches on that one. But like I say, on this one, it didn't. So I may just get rid of that one. So we'll cut this up and then we can just leave that for now. But if this, if our whatever was going on with the branches is now sorted, then that's brilliant. Because I can't tell you how infuriating it was seeing it happen. I also tested whether, I don't know whether I've already said, but tested whether we could use chippers with these. I just thought with them not being able to go through the harvesters, would they be a nightmare to chip? But chipping wise, you can do the big stumps and it does it fairly easily, and it grabs hold of them and sends them through. So we're still going down the chipping route. But right, let's now go back to our house and I'll see you in the morning. So I really hope, considering we cultivated that field, I'm hoping that they're going to leave that for spring drilling, because if they are, then that'll be perfect for us and we can put the crop in we want, because we are going to start going down soybeans and peas, all that sort of thing, to get them into the ground. So that's left, that'll be brilliant. But we are currently on our way up to field 45, which as you can see we're going to go put wheat in up there. And then I'm just trying to decide what to do with the slightly smaller field. I don't know whether to leave that and maybe do sugar beet again, but it does have a pole in the middle of it, so I don't quite know how that's going to work out. I'm unsure whether, I know root crops, if we do any root crops from now on, we are going to be either ploughing them or definitely cultivating before we go in, because they do need the soil breaking up, just to add, or hopefully try add, to a bit of realism. But right, I don't want to be doing that first. I want to be doing my up-downs. So I'm going to get myself set on here, and then like I said, we'll get this drilled, and then once this is drilled we can set a worker on and they can come up here to roll, and then that gives us time that we can then go back to go do some forestry work. And there's a lot more weeds in these fields. Is that because of the update with precision farming? I don't remember seeing that many. I know base game there's how many in my opinion. Well, that's annoying. It ran out with just such a little bit left to go. To be honest, I wasn't even concentrating, so it caught me by surprise seeing that it wasn't drilling no more. Right, we will get back to the yard. We will get the remainder in here. I need to see how our mulching lad's getting on. He has moved into the field on the top, That's a really awkward place to park. He has just moved into, if I show you on here, I always forget what field it is. Field 50. So he's on mulching that. But I am thinking 38 and 39 I'm not going to drill. I probably already said that, but they're not getting drilled. They're getting drilled in the spring. And I'm also thinking that's going to be the same for field 40. You know, I want to go big. Well, peas, you've seen how much money we're getting for them. But I'd like to have a field of soybeans, so when we do get to June, July time, we can just bolster the bank balance up with a little bit more money. So we are completely out of solid fertiliser now. So I just hope we can. Does that need to be a bit lower, or does this need to be unfolded? Or do we need to open the doors? I'm hoping it's just open these top side bits to get, so that we can get in. So let's have a... Oh, we need to unfold it first. Right, let's hop back out again. And we'll hop into here. Oh, no. We may get lucky, and by unfolding it, that may just start opening into there. So let's get into here. Let's okay, yeah, we're not getting lucky at all with that. Let's hop back into here. Okay, that could have been worse. That's not too bad. And which one is the fertiliser and which one is the seed? No? I'm sure last time I did this it just opened up. Alright, let's go back into here. Right, there we go. So seed is at the front, fertiliser at the back, and it's going in. So we'll get that one in, and then we'll get this this next one in. And now for the second one. Like that. So I wasn't planning on trying to get that other field 50 drilled today, but I think if we put that on a worker, it'll probably be a wise idea, because if this is all the solid fertiliser we've got, I'd rather try to get it all into the ground now. In this one episode, and then in the next one we may look to roll. If not, we'll get some rolling done in this one. So let's leave that there, and ooh, we can hop back into here. We will run up to, well, I say run, we'll drive up to that top field and we'll get that finished off and then move on to the next one. So field 50 is half the size of what this one is, and with less than half a tank of solid fertiliser. So I'm hoping that barley takes less fertiliser, because that's what's going to go in over there. So if barley takes less fertiliser, we'll get it done. If it doesn't, then yeah, we're going to be running out again, and we'll have to go buy a bag or two, which is no problem, because we do need to buy another bag or two for any fertilising contracts we're going to do. So right, we're going to just flip that to barley. You'll also notice I did fill it up just in the yard before we left as well with seed. I thought there's no point coming up all the way this way, you know, with half a tank of seed. So how far? It doesn't have much further to go, but it's enough that we don't want to be setting off and drilling it just yet, because if we do that, then we will soon catch up, and then we'll be drilling what hasn't been mulched. But it shouldn't be too long. But I just want to have a look at where is their sugar beet, because I'm toying with, to buy that we've got a 25% discount, so that's going to be 420,000 ish to buy that. We do a field 2, which we don't really venture too far out this way. A lot of what we're doing is all here, so I would quite like to branch out a bit. So field 2, oh, that's Walter as well. That's annoying. How many contracts have we built up for Walter? Does it say? Jobs complete 7. So if we do another 3 contracts, it means we'll get 25% on both of them. Because obviously if we claim a contract now, it will then knock us down, so we've only got 3 jobs complete. We will have a look at that a bit later on. Right, we're going to leave this here, and I think we will go to the Fent and we can start going. We can start on with some more logs. So the likes of these are Scotch pine. So these ones, we can leave these, and we can get a harvester in to do them if we, for something a bit different. It's these ones that we can't. And what we're going to have to do is buy a winch to get the ones further in the trees, to get those out. Because I just think if we're trying to go in with our trailer, I do think it will be. Well, I think for a video sort of viewing and whatnot, you're going to struggle to see what we're doing because you're going in the tree. So I think getting a winch may be a good idea to pull them out bit by bit for us to then load up. But right, we're going to carry on, get a few of these trees cut down. Well, there is another load of timber out, and we're starting to make a dent in it. That is for certain. I did just off camera really quickly run through and cut another load of trees down, and I've also got rid of those trees with the branches hanging off. I just thought they kept blocking the camera angle, and I didn't want to ruin any viewing. But yeah, so we're building up a nice stockpile of logs there, and we've got plenty to go at in there. Our worker finished mulching and is now on with the drilling, so we need to make our way back to the farmyard, and we're going to go jump in the class, and we'll go roll. And then that means in the next episode we'll have to stay in September, and we'll have rolling, spraying and woodwork to go do. I am going to swap the tyres over because we're on narrows, because this is obviously our spraying tractor, and I would rather make sure, please have the trigger, yes, so, the tyres could probably do with some work doing to them. So engine 180, are we the biggest? Yes, we've got the biggest engine on. Trailer borg, we want wide tyres and wheel weights, or no wheel weights? We'll go wide tyred and wheeled weights, we might as well. So let's get that done. It's 52 months old is this tractor, which is a relatively young tractor in the grand scheme of things. Look at them tyres, all nice and clean. Right, we'll get the rollers on and we'll go up to the field of wheat that we drilled, and we'll get that done. I think that will be about it. And then, as long as everyone doesn't mind, well, by the time I record the next episode, this one I don't think would have been published, but I am going to go off camera and cut a load more trees down, get that all organised, so that next time we come to do woodwork, it's literally just picking them up, and instead of doing one trailer load at a time, we should be able to do two. Right, let's start to get ourselves unfolded, and I imagine we'll be looking at 2 headlands in here. So steering assist, yeah, we're going to go for 2, just makes life a little bit easier for turning round on the corners. And it doesn't matter if we drop the rolls down now. The only thing with it is I think max speed is 7 miles an hour. There's a bit of a delay, I haven't seen that for a while. That must be because of the new update. Yeah, delay in the texture changing. It's amazing the difference of 7 miles an hour to 9 miles an hour. Yeah, it's only 2 mile an hour difference, but you can feel the difference when rolling compared to drilling and how much longer it actually takes. But anyways, we are almost done. Just that last little bit on that left hand side to do, which works out perfect. It means we can then just pull off to the side here so that we're getting rid of our tyre marks. Well, the rollers are getting rid of our tyre marks. Like so. So we will get this folded up, and in the next episode we will roll, because I imagine it's drilled now. Let's go to... Okay. What? Right, well, I'm hoping that has sorted that out. So let's go to here. What is he doing? That first, trying to get it to drill that first slot, that was just using the in-game AI worker. So I have swapped him around to go and use course play, and I have told him to start with the headlands first. That may make a difference. Right, okay, there we go. You can see he's now starting. So right, we will take this, well, yeah, so we'll take this over there, and then we need to, in the next episode, we will have to roll that field. So I'll probably let it just run a little bit so that our worker can get that field drilled in between now and the next episode. We can then roll it. We can then go do some more forestry work, you know, get some of those logs back. We have field 40 to spray. I can never remember it. The one in front of us, what's that one? Okay, it was field 41. We have field 41 to spray, and then we'll possibly then go do more logs, and then once we're rolled, we can move on to the next month, and then that's all our fields drilled for this year until we move into spring, and then we'll look at doing some more spring drillings. But on that note, I would just like to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you have all liked and enjoyed the video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.